Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Combiner Wars Legend Class Decepticon Rumble. For the package, you can see you got a really cool image of Rumble on the back of the card, as well as an open clamshell that allows you to fully see the figure within. It also says that it works with, but which is sold separately, the Leader Class Soundwave. On the back of the package, you can see images of his robot mode, as well as his vehicle and spy tablet mode. And it says that Decepticon Rumble transmits low-frequency ground waves to create powerful earthquakes. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Rumble opened up and out of its packaging. And basically what you have is a repaint with a new head and some new sticker detail of the Autobot Rewind figure that we got recently. And I do like the mold. I think that it works very nicely as Rewind, and I think it works really well here as Rumble as well. I think that as a spy tablet, it works pretty decently. I'm not opposed to it. A lot of people really want that whole kind of cassette look for him, but in the modern day, I think that as a spy tablet, it works pretty well. Now starting out first with the accessories, like all Titans return figures with the exception of the Titan Masters, Rumble here comes with this collector card with the really cool image here on the front. Then on the back you have his specs for his strength, speed, intelligence, and fire blast. He also does come with his gun weapon, which is exactly the same as Rewind's, but is now molded in this red plastic, and you can see it's a very long gun, and much like Rewind, you got that little section here along the side that in spy tablet mode, you can peg it in right there, and it stores very, very nicely. Coming in to take a closer look at his tablet mode, you can see he got a really nice Decepticon logo there, and these are the different stickers, and I actually really like this. It kind of shows like different details and such that you would use to kind of track like earthquakes, and some really nice, overall coloring and detail on there. The rest of it is in this red and black plastic. Come around here at the bottom, you see just basically robot parts. Alternate mode, that being a bit of a tank kind of thing. Here you're not seeing too terribly much in terms of the differences that are between this and that Rewind figure. Most of the differences are shown in the tablet and obviously the robot mode. This is just kind of a different coloration of that Rewind figure, but still pretty decent and fun looking nonetheless. Coming in to take a closer look, you got that red and black plastic. You get a little bit more color here with this tan for his tank treads. And then obviously you have the gun that stores here, giving him the little turret. One thing I will say is that when you're transforming it, be careful, because if you leave it in there, you'll end up bending it like I did mine. So I'm going to have to kind of warp that back to kind of keep that straight. But you got the little posts right at the top here where a Titan Master figure can go. On the bottom section, you got the front wheel, and then you got two here in the back. So, well, you can't see it, but it rolls fairly decently. But like I said, you don't really see much different. I mean, you can kind of see the different stickers right here, but most of the differences are displayed in his robot mode as well as the tablet mode. And then here in robot mode, you can see a few of those other changes that I was talking about, specifically in some of the different paint details as well as the new head sculpt. Generally speaking though, again, the figure looks really good. The mold on it is really very nice, and the overall presence on the figure does give a Rumble sort of feel, so I do like them. For a closer look at the figure, this is where you can really see the nice new head sculpt on him. Very, very Rumble / Frenzy-esque. And then also the nice actual painted detail here on his chest, which really does give that Rumble Frenzy kind of look. I do kind of wish that the tires here, instead of being red, were actually black. It just, the way that is right now, it just kind of looks like he's got two little side nipples just hanging out there. It's kind of funny. One thing that I will say is that I really do like how the arms, with how big and blocky they are, kind of give a little bit more, especially if you kind of turn them off to the side, give a little bit more of those pile driver kind of looks. I kind of dig that. Obviously, it's not flat or anything, but the bulkiness of the arms, I think, really does nicely suit this overall character. I'm still weirded out by the fact that they have like a hollow arm section here, whereas this one is filled in. I don't really know why they had to do it that way, to be honest. I don't see why they couldn't have kept that filled in as well. First articulation, the head does rotate. It can pivot up and down just kind of as part of the transformation. You got a hinge right up here that's also part of the transformation, and then you have a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion with that. You got a swivel at the upper part of the arm. He has a hinge at the elbow. Waist, unfortunately there's no rotation there at all. You got the hips that are on ball joints, a nice range of motion. You can also get some rotation because of how big the ball joint is, and then the knees are also ball jointed, so you can kind of rotate those around, bend those forward and back. And then these little pieces right here, I guess you could kind of say are little bits of toe articulation. So very well articulated figure, and as a Legend class figure, comes together really very nicely. For comparison to that Rewind figure, again, this is where you're seeing that it's just some different paint applications. You got different paint detailed on the chest, and then molding wise, you do have the two different heads. And then as a Legend size figure, you can see that he comes in at about 3.5 inches tall, which scales very nicely with larger size figures. Now, a lot of times when figures use the same mold as another figure, one stands out as being a little bit better than the previous. And I definitely think that that's the case here with Rumble. Mostly in the way that the arms are. The big blocky nature of them just fit with that pile driver look that Rumble and also Frenzy had. The head sculpt on this one is really nice. That's not to say that the Rewind one wasn't nice. Both heads work perfectly for the characters they're meant to represent. But I think it just comes down to the overall aesthetic of the actual mold on this, and how it just matches up with that Rumble character a little bit more. So while I do really like Rewind, Rumble here just edges him out a little bit. So all that being said, if Rumble here is a figure that you'd be interested in adding to your collection, he's available at retail stores right now, so good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the new Transformers Titans Return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.
You're a true classic when we go and get